Did you know there's an alien embassy in China, located in Miang, Hunan? This building, which looks like a park from the outside, is actually a scientific research station. But don't bother asking what exactly it researches. Just consider those 6 words: alien research station. Mind-blowing enough? Brain exploding enough? The aliens apparently told Earthlings to develop advanced technology, to seek the secret of longevity from black holes, and decades ago they flatly declared that China had already surpassed the United States. The 3-man father and son team responsible for liaising between the aliens and Earth not only never made a single cent from the extraterrestrials over all these years, they drained their entire family savings to build this place. Today we're diving into a Chinese internet urban legend, the Alien Research Station. You're always saying China doesn't have alien stories. Well, today I've got one for you. Make sure you watch until the end. American President Obama is so smart. The question displayed at the entrance of the Alien Research Station is guaranteed to stick in your memory. This is a soul-piercing inquiry posed by General Yuan Tianming, the second-in-command civil and military officer of the distant planet Dongsheng. If you're not yet familiar with that title, now would be a good time to start your "try not to laugh" challenge, because aliens on planet Dongsheng all hold official ranks, and their names and social role assignments bear an uncanny resemblance to China of the 1940s and 50s. Perhaps that's just the masterful localization skill of a highly advanced civilization. Let me first give a brief introduction. Who exactly are the people of planet Dongsheng? According to their own account, in the entire universe only 2 civilizations exist simultaneously: Earthlings and the people of planet Dongsheng, and Dongsheng's technological level is vastly superior to Earth's. However, the Dongsheng people look remarkably like Chinese people: yellow skin, black hair, and their names even follow the conventions of China's traditional 100 family surnames. If names like Yuan Tianming, Bai Yushang, or Liao Zhucheng sound unfamiliar, you've surely heard of Lu Dongbin, Lan Kehi, and Han Shangzi. That's right, the 8 immortals from the classic Chinese myth, 8 immortals crossing the sea, are Dongsheng people, and they once resided at this very research station. Though all Dongsheng members claim they didn't abandon the United States for China until 1953, our own mythology has clearly exposed them already. After all, who doesn't know the name Guanyin? And Guanyin is, in fact, a Dongsheng person, none other than the Supreme Empress Li Guanyin herself. The celestial Guanyin had previously sent a message to Earthlings through the research station, expressing strong dissatisfaction to the entire world with everyone who creates statues of her. In her own words, "Where exactly did you see that Guanyin looks like that? Is my actual figure really that enormous?" Curiously, though, in the exhibition hall called Buer, inside the research station, there's a figurine of a Dongsheng person sculpted by the station's founders. Whether it meets their approval, who knows? After venting about the substandard figurines, the Dongsheng people couldn't resist displaying their broader worldview, frankly declaring that in the world of Earth, China is considered a great power. Having generously praised their host nation, they went on to explain their purpose for coming to Earth: to assist Earth's most promising nations in developing advanced technology and ultimately achieving total equality. The Dongsheng people first arrived on Earth in 1887, initially hiding in Los Angeles, USA. But after noticing that the American government's ideology was morally unsound, they defected from America to the communist side in 1953. See, I told you the Dongsheng people have vision. By 2017, however, they had largely withdrawn from Earth. Finally, here's a general overview of the Dongsheng people. Appearance, as mentioned, is very similar to Chinese people, but on average they are all strikingly handsome men and beautiful women. Lifespan varies by rank and position, ranging from thousands to tens of thousands of years. Their height is rarely below 1.8 meters, and they are currently working toward a universal standard of above 1.8 meters. Clearly, height anxiety is a serious issue there too. Additionally, most Dongsheng people are extremely talkative. You've probably noticed that the research station is perpetually plastered with lengthy important directives from the supreme leader, and the walls are also frequently covered with accounts of their deeds. But the Dongsheng linguistic style is not something everyone can handle. If you visit the public account of the station's manager, you can still read a fairly complete collection of the supreme leader's high-intensity statements. How to describe the feeling? It's like being a student dozing off in class and suddenly getting yanked up to be lectured by the teacher. The whole thing swings constantly between the overbearing, "I will not allow you to question me," energy and the detached, I couldn't care less whether you question me. Energy, bouncing back and forth between the two. So the question is, who exactly brought this surprisingly relatable supreme leader to Earth? Back in the 1960s, a veteran soldier returned home to Miang County, Waiwa City, Hunan Province. His name was Xiong Quansong, and he had a certain reputation in the village. Not long after, his younger brother Xiong Wanzhong, who had also served in the military, passed away from illness. From that point on, Xiong Quansong regularly dreamed of a strange man and woman who identified themselves as aliens from planet Dongsheng. They said they wanted to establish contact with Earthlings and were asking Xiong Quansong to build a foothold for them on Earth. When Xiong Quansong woke up and told the villagers, everyone assumed he was just making casual conversation. No one expected that from that day forward, he would formally dedicate himself to the mission of connecting aliens with Earth. Xiong Quansong married and had several children, including the eldest son Xiong Yuya and the younger son Xiong Yusheng. These two brothers grew up listening to stories about the Dongsheng people and had complete faith in their kind, good-natured father. According to all three of them, the Dongsheng people didn't just appear in dreams. They appeared in real life too, and all three had seen them with their own eyes. In 1997, Xiong Quansong led his two sons, then 17 and 18 years old, and through entirely self-reliant effort, laid every brick themselves to build the Alien Research Station, or more precisely, what was originally named the Dongsheng Embassy in China. A merit stele that circulated online showed the names of donors and their contributions, leading many people to assume the research station had received village funding. In reality, the villagers' donations went toward building an ancestral ceremony venue, not the research station itself. However, some villagers did quietly whisper that when the station was being constructed, there was a financial backer, a local government official at the time who still held some degree of power. Even so, it's safe to assume that even with a patron, three people building something that large were stretched beyond their limits, evidenced by the fact that Xiong Yusheng's wife had already divorced him once. The villagers at the time generally thought the Xiong family's three men were either mentally unwell or had too much time on their hands. But the elderly people who were close to Xiong Quansong said he had never recovered from the shock of Xiong Wanzhang's death and had constructed this fantastical world as a way of coping. Regardless of which interpretation is true, Xiong Quansong's behavior left an indelible mark on his two sons. The brothers' superstitious conduct became widely known. For instance, much like itinerant con artists, they claimed to be able to cure cancer, repeatedly mentioning that an herbal remedy they compounded under the guidance of the Dongsheng people had cured a terminal cancer patient, though the formula could not be revealed to anyone. The brothers also tried to construct mythology around their father. After Xiong Quansong passed away in 2018, Xiong Yusheng immediately posted online claiming the Dongsheng supreme leader had taken their father up to immortality, and that they had personally witnessed Xiong Quansong's soul ascending in broad daylight. But human beings are complex, because outside of that theatrical bragging, the brothers' reputation in all other matters was consistently excellent. When the station first opened, UFO enthusiasts arrived in droves to visit. At that time, the three of them got to know China's most famous UFO research expert, Zhang Jianping. The man mentioned multiple times as the person who hypnotized a witness named Huang Yanchu and commissioned the drawing of an alien figure. Zhang Jianping then rallied UFO enthusiasts to donate money toward restoring the deteriorating research station, and also wanted to leverage that into greater influence, persuading the brothers to develop the site into a tourist attraction. In total, 109,500 yuan was raised. After transferring the money, Zhang Jianping hinted that the brothers seemed a little too eager to get their hands on the funds, and others in the group piled on, saying the use of donations should be publicly disclosed. Xiong Yusheng couldn't take the insinuation. He returned every single yuan and issued a public statement cutting ties with Zhang Jianping. From that day to this, the Alien Research Station has never charged admission. The brothers did sell homegrown kiwi fruit in the UFO enthusiast group, listing each box at 10 jin. A 60-year-old buyer complained to the group that 10 jin, in his understanding, should not include the weight of the box, and accused the kiwis of being underweight. Xiong Yusheng felt insulted, and in a fit of anger refunded the price difference to every single buyer one by one. Bear in mind that at the time the brothers were under enormous financial pressure. Every yuan spent building the station came out of their own pockets. In those very same circumstances, when a neighbor from a nearby village came asking for help, they initially planned to charge for it, but seeing that the person had already been reduced to bare walls by medical bills, they were moved and did it for free. So yes, as ridiculous as the alien research station is, after reading the story of this father and his two sons, I can't help but feel something quietly stir inside me. Because here's the thing. The world is full of people who love mysterious stories. Even a book as riddled with holes as rails, the book which tells the truth, has its believers, so why shouldn't the alien research station hold its own? If you really think about it, the Shang family trio can be considered absolutely righteous by any measure. They didn't write books to make money, they weren't trying to prove the superiority of white-skinned people. And the Dongxing supreme leader says that the civilization of the universe looks exactly like Chinese people. Doesn't that make this some kind of oceanic debate between opposing schools of mysticism? With that said, for believers in the Raelian gospel, spending some time with the teachings of the Dongxing supreme leader might actually be worthwhile. Whether it would be enlightening, I wouldn't dare claim, but at least it's a solid calcium supplement. After reading it, you'll probably find it a lot harder to bow down so easily. The judgment remains the same. They never broke any laws, never scammed anyone for money, never infringed on anyone's legal rights. On the contrary, they created a wonderful place for residents to stroll after dinner and for children to play. So whatever the alien research station ultimately is, it's nothing more than one family's personal passion project, and honestly, there's nothing to criticize about that. Right above the first gate of the alien research station, centered at the top, hangs a plaque, much like the kind that once bore the inscription, "Uprightness and Integrity," and on it are written 4 large characters, "Equality under Heaven." Isn't that, in its own way, a distinctly Chinese kind of storytelling? The more I think about it, the more I feel the Shang family trio is far more fascinating than I ever imagined. Hey, if this video gets over 100,000 likes, I would have driven out there 5 years ago, no matter what, just to personally read the profound wisdom of the Dongxing people. Though honestly, it might also have been the first episode of my Try Not to Laugh challenge. And that wraps up this edition of Chinese Internet Urban Legends, the Alien Research Station. Honestly, both this episode and the one about the guy who built a flying saucer had me simultaneously delighted and cracking up while doing research. If you enjoyed it, please like and leave comments, and vote for the topics you want to see covered. And remember to follow my